Hi, everyone. My name is Rob Britt, and I'm the SVP of Multifamily Housing at Zonda Media and Events. I just want to take a moment to bring my team in and introduce my esteemed colleagues from our media advisory and event team and talk a little bit about the upcoming MFE conference. I've been inspired by a lot of my recent conversations with Christine and Kimberly on our internal meetings, and I just felt like I'd love to get their perspectives and share it with some of our best clients out there. And I joke about this sometimes when we're going through some of our more formal presentations and we talk about the Zonda mission statement and what we do and how a few of the bullet points is that Zonda is building the future of housing, that we're data driven, and that we empower smarter decisions. And I've been through a number of different iterations of this company where those types of words are just kind of gestures out there and they don't really mean a whole lot. But I really believe that that is what we're doing here. And as evidenced by the fact that we bring together our editorial staff, our advisory group, our programming team, and a bunch of industry experts from all over the country to come help us put together this experience. And when I get asked is like, what makes the MFE conference unique out there? The calendar is extremely full, especially post-pandemic. There's a ton of multifamily events that go on throughout the month of September. Um, why are you different? Why should we go there or why should we come back? And really what I center it in on is what we're doing as a collective at Zonda is that we're really focusing on those topics that are critical to the business of the attendee. They're not always sexy topics like AI, or always, centralization or some of the buzzwords that you might hear out there. But the amount of uncertainty that exists in today's markets, our attendees really want to validate their own ideas in this peer-to-peer exchange. And that's what I think we do really well is bring some really high-level industry executives to the table in an intimate format. So I know I've opened up here with a bit of a monologue, but I want to introduce Kimberly Byram and Christine Serlin. And first, Kimberly, I wanted to get her take from our advisory business. So Kimberly, her clients are multifamily developers all over the country, and she usually feels the pain first. And but similarly, she also sees the light at the end of the tunnel before any of us. So I want to ask her a bit about that and what she's seeing out there in the market from the developer and owner standpoint.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks for having me, and I'm excited to talk about the opportunities at MFE this year. From my perspective, my clients right now are in a couple of different buckets, so to speak. You have those that maybe have been working on a project for an extended period of time, and with the raising of the federal funds rate, really put things on hold or started slow playing. Those people are now cranking back up and really getting out into the marketplace because they have almost shovel ready projects. And so they are getting back out there and they're talking to equity and they're looking for a lot of data and a lot of information to get their projects to the finish line. Primarily, and I would say most of my conversations center around, can we get these rents? In talking with equity providers, that's the number one thing all day long that I've got to get in front of people and talk about is, are these rents correct? Are these rents going to be accepted in the market? And can people pay these rents? So that's probably that first group. The second group is keeping their development teams busy by working on the hardest projects. And so I'm seeing a lot more mixed use, multi-use, hospitality, condominium, high rise, senior, attainable. So a lot of different components, or just I have a piece of land. Let's test it a couple of different things. So we're doing a lot of the more difficult projects, and we're spending the time doing the homework on those types of projects. And then we work with a lot of different groups that are looking to get into new space, are looking to expand into different opportunities, not necessarily markets, but maybe different product types. So, talking a lot more about active adult, which is an age restricted apartment, talking more about attainable housing. A lot of the multifamily developers that you would know with the name brands are getting back out there and looking at ways to deliver more affordable or attainable product, which is a for-profit model, but is more replicated across different market areas that are that are targeting those firefighters, hospitality workers, and those groups. So working on a lot of different things there. I know, Rob, you asked me to. I've also mentioned I've been meeting with a lot of different third party providers because we're all kind of wondering where's the market, constantly visiting with architect firms and talking about ways they can expand or what they're seeing. And, probably first and foremost, what we've heard from our clients is, yes, well, I did put my deal on hold. When I'm ready to get started again, I expect the whole team to be there and ready and waiting to go. Well, that's not reality, obviously, because we're all out there trying to deploy our resources and keep everyone busy and not just twiddling our thumbs and waiting. But as we all know, as vendors out in the space, we have to make each one of our clients feel like they're the only person in town. And so, as we're starting to see more of these, I need this now, rush, rush, rush. I've been happy that we have been able to keep our staff intact and so that all those familiar faces are all still there, and that really takes you a long way with a lot of your clients, is that the comfort level is there.
Yes, well, thank you. Thanks for all that, Kimberly. Appreciate it. And you brought up you're going to be doing double duty this year on a couple sessions, and in addition to your top market session that you're moderating with some of the brokers out there and research firms, you're going to be talking about some of these other areas of opportunity. And I was referenced earlier one of the articles that's up on MFE this morning in a summary of all of the top CEOs from the leading REITs. The sentiment that was echoed was just about the strong demand and the fundamentals out there, and a lot of that is on the housing affordability side and the attainable housing that you're going to be moderating that session on day 2 of the conference. So yeah, it is, we're really excited to hear that and learn more about that piece of the market and what you're seeing.
Yes. And, one of the things that I always like to mention when I go to MFE, Rob, and I know this is kind of a shameless plug, but I always meet people I don't know there. I never feel like, gosh, why did I fly all the way to X metro area to run into everyone I know already? So one of the things that I really like about MFE is being able to meet new faces, people that are coming in and learning about the business or learning about a specific area that they're interested in because of the agenda and the content that we put together.
Perfect. I'm glad you brought that up. I was gonna ask you something along those lines and the value that you get out of
Yes.
the events. Um, you want to, so Kimberly's going to be doing a webinar. We're going to let her plug her webinar.
Okay.
It's free, and it's to all subscribers and clients and everyone, and it's going to be a much more comprehensive look at the overall market. It's this Thursday, August 8th. It'll also be available for recording, so I'd highly encourage you to just register whether you can make it or not, and then you'll get a notice on the recording. Any little teaser you
Great
want to throw out
takeaways.
there?
I am deep in the data, and it is a very data heavy presentation, an hour's worth of slides. I'm excited. I've been studying the absorption rates because I really wanted, and I'm so curious about, my presentation always leads me in a direction that I don't know where I'm going yet because I ask myself the next question and the next question of what's going on. And so I've really, really dug into some deep, deep data as it relates to lease ups. And as you know, because I am so pre development focused, I love to see how things are performing, at what rents, at what concessions, and what absorption pace. So I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about some of the more active markets and drilling down into how we're seeing that absorption that is occurring and at what pace.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you for all the work you've done and help preparing for MFE conference. We look forward to seeing you in Vegas the end of September in person. I'm going to turn it quickly to Christine. Um, and you and Siobhan have done an amazing job of, and to an extent, Kimberly as well, um, recruiting speakers for this event. And I guess I wanted to get some insight and share some insight from your perspective on these speakers and any particular challenges that they're seeing regarding market conditions, the transactional environment, operations side, and kind of anything that might inform, our partners on how to do business with some of these folks.
Thanks, Rob. I think that this year we really have a great cross section of speakers. We have speakers who are larger companies like UDR and Graystar, and all the way down to the middle market. And then we also really have a great cross section between developers and owners and investors and other stakeholders in the industry, who's I think that we'll gain some really good insight in the sessions that will talk to the state of the market. In past years coming out of COVID, it has been a little harder with speakers, but I feel like we are now back into a really good new normal where people are, more than happy to lend their expertise, which we're really grateful for. So I think that, since we do have such a great diversity of speakers, that they'll be able to kind of help our attendees create their playbooks for 2025.
Excellent. Excellent. And I noticed, the topics on the agenda, there's some familiar, the build to rent, the centralization I referred to earlier, design trends, which we always cover. But there's some that we've maybe don't cover as much, that are standing out there, branding, disruptive operating strategies. Anything maybe you can share as to how some of those came about, was it in discussions internally or with advisors who are out in the industry?
We definitely had some advisors out in the industry who pitched some really great ideas this year. I think that because we are in such a high supply market and we're going to be continuing to have an onslaught of deliveries heading into 2025, that the branding session is going to be so important to learn how to differentiate yourself, whether you're a new multifamily community coming up for lease up, or if you're an existing one. Like, I think it'll benefit owners and property managers just to see what you can be doing to really solidify your brand. The disruptors, we did a feature earlier this year in Multifamily Executive in the March-April issue about how short-term rentals can really benefit owners and property managers. And I think that's a really good connection between the magazine and the in-person event. So we got some great speakers on that one as well.
Excellent. Well, keynotes. Tell me quickly about, I know you were very passionate about our selection of keynote speakers this year, and how they're adapting, kind of their general pitch to the multifamily marketplace. Maybe a couple takeaways there on what you're seeing
Great.
in keynotes.
Well, if you've attended MFE conference before, you'll know Ali Wolf, who is chief economist of Zonda, Multifamily Executive's parent company. And she just provides, even though a lot of her day-to-day work is on the single family side, she has such a great understanding of the housing market and the big picture and how it all relates. So I think that her takeaways are really going to help also prepare for what the economy could look like as we head into the end of the year and into 2025. We have a couple of great technology speakers. Award-winning author Dror Polig is going to really talk about how the multifamily industry can be taking advantage of today's technology. We also have Ivo von Brookelen, who is from the Prop Tech Connection, and he is really going to advance the conversation also about prop tech and how it can benefit both the owners and resident engagement. And that's also a really important topic for us at MFE this year. And then we have Spencer Levy from CBRE, who is going to give, and this is kind of a first time for us to really look at the commercial real estate picture, but he's going to take a deep dive into what's going into the commercial real estate industry and how that affects multifamily in particular.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. And I want to put you on the spot like I did Kimberly. Do you have any words of advice for one of our vendor partners or service provider partners out there based on what you're hearing, how to address pain points, any sage advice?
Well, I think that, overall the fundamentals for the industry are solid. There still are a lot of concerns when it comes to the economy, but I think the MFE conference, we do have such a wide array of speakers and of content that it's just good to be in the room and to hear from your clients, your potential clients, on what their concerns are, what their challenges are, but where they're also finding opportunities. And I think that can really help you kind of hone your business to serve them better. And then I also just think it's a great networking event. I think, like Kimberly said, you're going to meet people that you haven't seen before. It's just a great venue to just really interact and get to know people. And I think we have some new things going on this year that will facilitate that even more this year.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So we've covered the content, we've covered some of the speakers and kind of unique attributes from the networking side. Some of those people that you don't know. One of the things that I put together, and I'll just touch on it, and I can send some information out if for those who are interested in learning more. But one of the slides that I look at is the conference persona, and this is something that we put together for our own internal usage and marketing the event and trying to kind of paint a picture for who is the typical attendee at the MFE conference. And I kind of pulled together my own top 50 list of confirmed attendees, number of units they own and manage. Most are owner operators and or developers. Our titles are VP level and higher, so CXO level owners, partners. 90%, much like the broader market, 90% are not the top ranked firms. They're not the largest. But what we find is they are extremely active. So there might be, 2,000 unit portfolios, all the way up to 30,000 unit portfolios that are interested in a wide range of subject matter, which is what makes it's an opportunity for us. It's also a challenge. And how do we program an event for that? And we have to cover topics like development, finance, leadership, as well as the operations side of things. On the logistical side, we think, as we mentioned, it's networking is important, that peer-to-peer exchange. But what we're good at is interpreting the data points that are out there, is our industry experts and our team pull together all the support for that to help all of our attendees do a better job of running their business. So it's, curating the right content for development, operations, finance, recruiting the best speakers, which is not easy, getting folks that are new and who aren't out there on the tour, and someone that you've seen maybe 5 or 6 times during the year. This year we do have some changes to the event format. We're kind of rethinking that traditional expo. And we've seen a lot of success with buyer-seller matchmaking events, which really, and in our surveys, what we hear back, formally and anecdotally, is that attendees do want to meet with the service providers, but they want more of a moderated experience. So what we've done there is we've also organized this year booth tours by subject matter experts that will allow our exhibitors to talk a little bit about their product and service, and with some time constraints upon them. And then the MFE conference persona, which I just went through, just some key takeaways there of who comes. So hopefully that gives you some more insight as to what we're trying to accomplish and what we have accomplished. As both Kimberly and Christine alluded to, our event is one of the ways in which it's unique as it is. It's not a huge exposition and trade show. We get about 650 attendees we're looking at this year. So it's big enough, but it's also intimate, where you get to spend some high quality time with your peers. And I want to thank my guests today for doing this real quick run through of the MFE conference. We all hope to see you there at the end of September at the Fontainebleau Hotel. and the brand new Fontainebleau Hotel, which just opened in December. And we also want you to come to Kimberly's webinar this Thursday. But thank you guys. I appreciate you taking time with me this afternoon and running through this. It was really quite helpful.
Thanks,
Thank
Rob.
you.